2, 1, go.
Oh, yeah? Good start.
Yeah, tales from the bottom of the ocean, everybody. How you doing? How you doing, Mike?
All right.
All right, so today we're doing the culinary arts, and we have a very special guest with us here. His name is Christopher Cerezo Zatina.
Yes, hello, hi. Nice to meet you guys.
How you doing?
Not too bad. And you guys?
We're
just talking about brutalized, like, videos about people, like, feeding cute animals to, like, other animals that aren't cute.
Culinary arts, dude.
And it really knocked us out of the mood.
Well, it's a good thing I already ate.
Yeah, it's true.
I just asked if any of you guys had sushi before, but you know what? We'll start it different ways. That's all right.
Speaking of eating, why don't you indulge all of yourselves by indulging us? By considering donating on our Patreon. Area22.com. Wait. Yeah, Patreon.com/Area22.
Wow.
Also, Eddie Ojada's hot sauce, which we did consume.
We did actually
And there
consume
was some
it.
good stuff.
delicious.
It was really good.
And that's
Put on some nice, like, medium rare steaks. Oh,
Yeah, it was really
That's
good.
I wish I had
professional.
some more.
That's a pro chef saying that, so that's how you know it's true.
Exactly. Consider checking us out on social media at Tales Podcast, or me. I'm at Dramacia. We're gonna be posting all the pictures that we took of the
hot
meat.
sauce.
Yeah, the meat with the hot sauce, sort of like giving it a nice sort of shrine to its taste and appeal. You can get that on twistedhotsauce.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, twistedhotsauce.com. You can also get it on Amazon. Definitely consider checking it out. As you can see, one of these bottles this one has been a little bit consumed more than the other ones.
That's because I like cherry.
Yeah, it was
Way
really
more
good.
than I
it
like
was
apple
really
or
good.
peach.
It was really good. They're fantastic. All right, so we got a lovely show prepared. But first, we got to do the questions. So
Sure.
So Christopher, how you
Should he
doing?
introduce himself?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, it's a question.
Yeah.
God, I'm great. I'm a great host.
Yeah.
I'm a whiz.
So how you doing, Christopher? First of all.
Not too bad, not too bad. You guys can call me Chris. That's all right.
Oh, which would you rather us call you?
I'd rather go with Chris. Christopher was my father. No, he wasn't.
But so, Chris, why don't you go in depth with your experience being a chef, like your background, your education?
Sure. Who do I look at? Do I look at you guys? Do I look at the camera? I'm not quite sure.
Look at us.
Either.
Okay. So, little background. I went to school in Uniondale, and I went to BOCES for like 2 years of high school. Then I was like, oh, you know what? I want to go to culinary school, so I went to culinary school. But I always knew from the start that while I did like cooking as a whole, I also knew that it wasn't going to be something that you can pursue for a long time. There's not a lot of people that don't necessarily stay in the field because there's just so much to deal with. Burnout's rampant in our field.
Oh, yeah.
So one thing I was like, okay, I want to get into that field just to be able to make sure that I knew how to do everything. If the time came, if like, oh, you know what, I want to do catering on the side. Okay, well, I can do that as well. So that comes all my experience of hospitality industry. I'd go work in restaurants. I'd work in hotels, everything.
Yeah.
And
Go on.
I would give you $1 to drink that.
He's drinking it right now.
Would.
It's good.
I only did it because Austin did it.
Oh, so I'm to blame for this.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. We were definitely listening.
Were you though?
We were.
Yes.
We actually were. Trust me.
But yeah, I've worked for a couple different companies, and I've learned a lot. Thankfully, now I work in a hotel, which is even better because you get to see some pretty insane stories.
What's an insane story?
Let's see here. So let me tell you guys about the time where I actually rented out a room to a meth addict.
Oh, boy.
It was 12 o'clock at night.
Jesse Pinkman.
12. No, actually, he was chocolate American, so. Gotta be PC.
PC indeed.
So yeah, I rented it out to him, and then this like Chinese lady comes down and she's like, "You guys need to take care of all these things. There's like sore linens." I'm like, "Ma'am, I know the people that clean these. I'm most likely sure they would never give you sore linens."
Wait, what? Sore
Yeah,
linens?
like there was like a stain on her linen. I was like, that's impossible. You know, I know everybody who cleans those, not because they're my family, but because they use a washing machine and stuff like
got
that.
a comedian here.
So she's like, no, it's all dirty. I was like, okay, whatever. You know what? We'll give you whatever you want. Here you go. You know, and then like this goes on for like an hour, 2 hours, where she's like demanding things. She's like yelling over the phone. I was like, whatever. So we give her everything she wants. And then roughly, like, I leave at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then like 12 o'clock she's checking out, and she's bringing the chair with her. I'm like, man, what are you doing? You can't bring that chair with you. And she's like, I paid for this room. I'm like, you rented out this room. Fine, take the chair, stupid bitch. And she gives us back the chair. I was like, this is a sign of something scary for what to come.
From hotels pretty frequently.
But I don't think you've ever stolen a chair or something you wouldn't admit on camera. And then we go into the room. I'm like, there's like wet sheets everywhere. There's blood. There's bandages. There's gauze. And my friends never let me forget the time where I rented out to a meth addict because they were doing some shady shit in there.
Where was this? Not what hotel, but where is this hotel located?
It was like in Westbury.
I didn't know people did meth around these parts.
I didn't either. But you know what? The lives we lead, different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean?
All right. Back to consuming and studying food.
Well, I wanted to hear this story about meth.
We can consume and study meth
Even
later.
though we already did an episode about drugs. But,
Yeah, we did.
Are drugs not food? Are they? Yeah, they're consumable. I mean, are cigars food?
Oh, whatever. Besides taste, what makes food artistic?
It's how you plate everything, and you know everybody's always saying that food should be just how it tastes. But the thing is, when you go to a restaurant and you see food just slopped on there, you either think, oh, people don't care how it came out, or it's probably bad, so they didn't give a shit. So plating is a very big important part. As much as everybody doesn't want, if food just has to taste good. No, it has to look good as well as taste good. And
Do you think that like there's some sort of connection psychologically with like taste?
yes, if it looks good, people always naturally assume it's going to taste good. Granted, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Like with gimmicky plating, like I know there's one restaurant where they put the food in like a toilet and stuff or shovels.
What?
Why?
Well, some of them work and some of them don't. Like if you advertise it, like, hey, we're serving the kitchen sink. Cool. Okay, what is it? What does it entail? Oh, well, it's like 20 scoops of ice cream. It's got all of this stuff in there. That's pretty cool. That's a cool gimmick. That's something if people are going to come to, people are going to flock to. But if you're telling me, oh, I made this, like, you know, I'm not trying to say all steaks are steaks because all steaks are different. But if you just put it on like that, okay, you know, you're trying to do too much and it doesn't look as great as people would like to think it does, you know?
Yeah.
So
Gives off the impression you're spending money on the stupid like plates.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a point where
Makes you feel
it
fancy.
comes from gimmicky. It's like gimmicky, or it's like it's what's needed for the food. Like I went to the candy shop where they do the the dragon flame or whatever, where you like ingest the drink or whatever.
Yeah.
And you get like that. What is it? I think the liquid nitrogen, or I'm not quite sure what it is. Where you
It's like some sort of chemical.
Some kind-
yeah, the
dry
chemical
ice.
or whatever, and then you get that dragon breath or whatever, right?
Wait, so you
cool.
take like a match and like you blow or something?
No, it's like that cooling thing. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like the liquid ice or whatever.
Dry ice.
Yeah, the dry ice, and then like. But I
Oh,
went
you
there. I
blow
was
the
like,
smoke, yeah.
it's cool. It is. It just tastes like cardboard, though.
Oh, then
So
yeah, it stops being so cool.
no, it's
It's just like when you go to when
Like
you're,
if I'm gonna spend like $12.50 on a drink.
No, it was like $30.
Okay, then hell no.
you know,
It
you know
has
what's,
to
hold on,
be-
you know what's a big gimmick? You're receiving this freaking receiving what is it? Receiving the sacrament, like you're getting the body and blood of Christ. Just like this doesn't taste like flesh or
Oxygen
blood.
bars.
What?
Okay, but that's free. You
Oxygen
don't
bars?
pay for the body and blood of Christ.
What is an oxygen bar?
You go to this bar, and then they put like a nozzle up to your nose, and then when you're sitting there, they feed you like oxygen. They route it through your body, put massages on your back and everything, and it feels like you're breathing cold air.
What? You could just go breathe cold air. You can go in a freezer.
They had in,
You can go in Western beef and go in the freezer.
Those are stupid. Those are
selling
stupid
full kits.
gimmicks.
There's like a thing that goes under your nose, like around your ears.
I have to pay to look like I'm in hospice.
No, I don't need that. What I do need though is
Jay's hot sauce.
Yes.
yes, that too. But no, they also have this like hangover bus or whatever in the city, because I used to work in the city, down in Chelsea, and once you get out of work, you're working from like, what is this? It's like 5 a.m. in the morning, getting everything prepped up for the lunch, and then you get prepped up for the dinner service. You get out at like 11 o'clock or like 12 o'clock in the morning or whatever, or 12 o'clock at night, whatever. You go drink, but they also have these like hangover cures or whatever where they'll give you IV drips, and it's always
IV
needed.
drips?
IV drips, yeah. Well, they'll stick you with a needle, give you all the nutrients that you need that you lost from drinking like,
See, the cool kids these days are just drinking Pedialyte.
Pediasure.
Well,
Pedialyte.
isn't Pediasure not the weight thing? I think that's Pediasure.
Jeez, we're getting off topic here.
It's for children, but it has a lot of electrolytes in it.
On visual appeal and like food, like or just like anything that you can consume, like it does have like play an integral role in like
Yeah. So
like how you perceive it.
always, like how there was people say there's sins to everything, like, don't do certain things with certain things. Always big things in the restaurant industry or just in food in general. What is this? Garnishes, you're always able to eat the garnishes. There's no such thing. If there's a non-edible garnish, to me it's a no-go. Like, you'll see these restaurants that put like a rock. Oh, it's a garnish. I was like, no, it's all garbage. Everything of it. Yeah, like a nice decorative rock. I was like, I don't need any of this.
I got
throw all this shit out.
Mike opens a restaurant.
Will they put a rock in the middle and then they put the thing on top? No, that's all. Unless you had like that Himalayan pink salt or that pink salt or whatever, that slab of salt, and then they put like a salmon on top.
Oh,
that's delicious.
Yeah.
That I'll never tell you throw it out. But if you put like these decorative rocks or whatever, that's nonsense.
you just like put a chunk of like amethyst through a steak. It's spiritually enhanced.
Steakethist. Anyway, here's another question. It's been said that artists go into a state of maximum awareness when they're like, doing like, when they say painting or like, I guess say it within your chef, like, preparing food or whatever.
Yes.
Called
very
flow.
much.
Did you ever get into that state?
Yes. Check me out at like 6:30 to about 8 o'clock when we get the dinner rush, and I could literally see everything, I could hear everything, and I yell at just about everybody. We're like, we're rushing to get things done, and you get a waitress and they're like, oh, I forgot this. I'm like, you were smoking outside, you come back 5 minutes before the food is ready, and you're telling me that this is something that I should have taken out way before this whole thing started. You're telling me now? She's like, yeah, get the fuck out. I don't need to hear none of this.
Messing up your flow, basically.
Yes.
We also
and
have
it's
a
the worst
cursing limit, by the way.
Oops.
It's okay.
Sorry, I'm used to
I don't think they'll
cursing.
penalize the guests as much as they'll penalize us.
Penal.
Will they?
Look what you did.
I guess I'm taking this out. Then.
Okay, cursing limit. Okay,
Why don't we just
I gotta
smoke
remember
inside? There's smoke all throughout the building, okay? You're cooking. Just smoke.
Yes.
Yeah, but not cigarette smoke.
Dead ass.
They used to allow people to cigarette smoke, but once you start getting a steak with cigarette ash,
People the flavor. That's a filet mignon right there.
Yourself when like carving a piece of like brisket, it adds to the flavor.
Yeah.
Nicotine steak.
oh my god.
Steakatine.
$1 billion.
The
I mean,
stories-
my barber jewels while he cuts my hair.
Oh my god.
Adds to the flavor.
Yeah, that's the flavor.
Jesus.
The amount of times I've accidentally cut myself to do that, but
Even I do that, and I'm not even like a real cook. I just work at a deli.
But like the point is that like when you're trying your best to like make sure that the lunch rush the dinner rush goes smoothly, when anybody who like interrupts you like interrupts that sort of flow state, they immediately just get like
They're gonna get reamed out. Yes, most definitely. Like, get out, get out, get out, get out.
We don't need
what
you
do
in the
you need
kitchen.
this? Yeah, exactly. You
You're
know,
allowed to just like curse your.
I'm allowed to curse
You're
at
manager, right?
anybody. Currently, no. And when I'd work in restaurants, I'd just be like a line cook, and that's why it's very important. If you have something, you mess something up, whatever. My food runners would always get a lot of flack because the waitress would be like, "Oh, you forgot this." I'm like, "No, you forgot to tell them about this," and like. I have hair, but it's like I'm not gonna say it's balding, but it's thinning. So I'd always sort of like, listen, they don't know. And granted, my hair is thinning, but it's not bald, and it's also not crystal.
Oh, is there like? Did they say like, oh, you put hair in my food?
No. They're like, oh, you forgot this. You were like, my hair's thinning. It's not crystal. I don't know what you want, and if you don't tell me what you want, I can't do it. Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, like
You're not. Yeah, obviously you're not stupid.
they
so,
would
like, what
always
do you-
assume that we knew when we didn't.
Yeah.
And especially if it was like some like random off request, I wouldn't know what
Yeah.
they wanted.
So it's a lot of communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had
Or
like
that
those sort of perfect situations where the whole dinner rush goes absolutely like amazingly?
That's a myth. And that's never true.
It's never
Something
happened?
always happens. Something always happens.
Yeah, that sucks.
One time it was close. I was really close. Like nothing went wrong. And then the lights went out.
Oh my lord!
Swear to God, the lights went out. And it was like 20 minutes before we're closing. And you think, okay, people are going to quietly just leave. Everybody's like, so do I get free drinks? I was like, I can't even see what I'm doing.
Going to mix you a drink.
Yeah, they're like, they go to the bartender and was like, do I get a free drink because the lights turned off? I'm like, no, go away.
We have to give 50+ people free drinks. Are you out of your mind?
Exactly. You like go home. You already ate.
But funny if Steve just like cut the lights as he said that. Oh no, it's not funny anymore.
We got a free drink now?
I'm getting Vietnam flashbacks.
Ooh, free drink. No.
Cheers, I'll drink that, bro.
I'm getting flashbacks to that.
Sometimes it just gets dark, I guess.
You ever have like
that sometimes.
a fast food job before you became a chef or something?
No, but I've had a retail job, and I'll tell you, my worst day in the kitchen doesn't compare to my best days of working in retail. Retail is so bad, and I can't. I just can't.
No, I always thought cooking jobs had like the stigma of being like super high stress and everything.
They are high stress, yes, but the food always makes up for it. Like
I heard of this one guy. It was like this whole program about him. How like he literally developed this like ridiculously serious like eye problem, like problem with his like cognition, just because of the stress of his job. Like he was a chef, professional chef, one of the best chefs in like the entire United States.
so with stuff like that, you'd always have to remember. Always prep beforehand. Always have everything prepped out beforehand.
Yeah.
Communication. My big thing with just about anything in the restaurant, it's take care of everybody. You take care of your prep cooks. They have you set up for days. You didn't even know half the things you needed until you open the fridge on the bottom and you see everything is all set up, everything's labeled nice, and you're just like, oh wow, they took care of me, so I take care of them.
He's basically listing all the problems with this show. All right, so here's another question. How do you break down like a full course meal? How would you break it down?
As far as like appetizers, entrees, dessert, simple. It's,
Let's say I'm ordering like a full course meal.
Mhm.
All right, and I want everything to be very complimentary and very just very good in general.
So most restaurants already have a prefix menu, and they'll have everything. As consumers or as people who go into the restaurant, we have to worry about so little because the menus are laid out, and the chef there hopefully know what they're doing, and they already basically have everything set up for you.
Mm-hmm.
So like for appetizers, they know, okay, what they're really gonna like is this artichoke dip with these quick fried tortilla chips. They're going to be amazing because the spinach and artichoke dip has like this sherry wine that's been aged for like 5 years or something like that, and it's got that nice flavor to it. So people are going to like that. And then you have that salmon cooked smoked. Actually, it'll be smoked first and then cooked on a cedar plank. And you're going to think, oh, wow, that's delicious. Yes. And then they finish it off with this nice like sorbetto, or they'll have like these biscotti cookies that are made with this nice like amaretto, nice after dinner drink. And everything just runs so smooth.
I feel like whenever somebody cooks with alcohol in it, it tastes so much better. Why? Am I just an alcoholic?
No. So
Well, the thing. Well, yeah, go on.
So my thing is, I love to show off. I do, and I'd like to not say it's because I went to culinary school that I can show off when I cook, but it's pretty much because I went to culinary school that I can show off. Like,
Them's just the facts.
exactly. So I'll have like a small burner or like a gas burner. I'll have my tomato sauce on the side. I'll have vodka. I'll have cream. Something as so simple as like a penne alla vodka that people say, oh, I go to a restaurant, I order penne alla vodka with chicken. I love it. I was like, I can make that for you right now. So I'll have my little stove, right? I'll have butter. I'll have vodka. Let that swirl around a little bit, grab a lighter, and have the huge flames, and everybody sees the blue flames. Everybody's like, oh, everybody loves that. Everybody loves that kind of stuff.
It's like working at Benny
and
Hanna's.
that just alone just makes the food, even before it's even made, taste so much
Yes,
better.
because you
Yeah,
smell
you're
the
seeing everything.
You smell the butter as it's being burned, and you just
These sensations are so
oh my god, everything. And then you get a little garlic. You put that on there. You put a little tomato, olive oil. You do that with the tomato sauce. Excuse me, sorry, I already forgot. Then you add a little bit of cream. It gets that nice they call it the pink sauce. I call it the penne alla vodka sauce because I know about restaurant terms. I like to think. And then you add your pasta and stuff like that. You flip it in front of them. Everybody sees that. Oh wow, that's so cool. Blah blah. Oh, everybody, the flick of the wrist. Oh, everybody thinks that's so cool. It's not. You just gotta have a lot of practice.
Which people don't like to do.
They don't. But it's
They see something like that, they see a pro do it, it's like, I can never do that, so I'm never going to try.
I always tell
You just gotta
everybody.
take the moon and take the sun.
I always tell everybody to have one dish that they know how to make and make it very well. Practice it. When somebody comes by, hey, what are you making? Oh, I'm going to make this. They don't know that you're a pro on making this dish, but and that when they try that, it's going to be the best damn thing they've ever had. That's the best thing they ever put in their mouth.
I once read that every man should have 2 good dishes they can make perfect.
Yep.
I think I agree. Even though
Anybody should have at least 2 dishes. Even if at least cereal is one of them, because cereal's my top 2. But cereal and like a nice chicken cutlet, always. Because with chicken cutlet you can make just about anything. You could put curry, chicken cutlet, okay, or what is this? Your penne alla vodka, chicken cutlet. It's
God truly has blessed us with chicken.
it has.
Without it,
Where would we be?
Without chicken jerky.
without chickens, dude, oh my lord.
It seems that a lot
The
of
universal solvent.
it seems that without the true experience of engaging yourself in food creation and preparation, there doesn't seem to there seems to be a kind of soul that's lacking from food that you don't see made in front of you.
Well, they have open concept kitchens that they do have that you can see it. It's not that. It's
No, but I'm saying what do you think is the main difference between those hibachi sit down restaurants where you see the whole process versus just being served just a plate of food basically?
the price.
Oh, yeah, but
The price and the fact they make a show out of it.
yeah.
It's the show that everybody's coming for. You
Yeah.
know, if you were to serve me the same thing, that I'd get. If what they serve me at some hibachi place, they serve me anywhere else, it'd be the same thing. I personally feel it's the same thing.
I do.
Only because I'm just so used to cooking, so it's not very cool to me. Except certain things if you ever see Bananas Foster, a nice French restaurant. it blows me away, because they'll like flambe it in front of you. It's very cool how they do it. It's old copper, cookware and stuff like that. That's really cool. Little onion volcano that I've seen a million times.
Yeah.
I'll take it or leave it, really.
We did an episode on aesthetics, and we talked about how certain styles come together to produce an aesthetic, and how that the aesthetic itself can influence like the way that you perceive whatever's like the subject. Obviously when you think of French cuisine, there's a particular kind of air that you expect to be surrounding it.
Snails.
Yes.
Escargot, yes, and a nice garlic butter sauce. There's nothing better. I swear, I would have never thought it. I come from the land of tortillas and steak tacos and stuff like that. Somebody tells me a snail, I'm like, no,
I'd eat
that's
any
disgusting.
animal on Earth. I've eaten animals I've never even seen alive before in person, like elk. I ain't ever seen an elk, but I've eaten it.
I've had alligator before too. That's actually pretty good too.
I've heard.
Yeah. So,
I guess back on the question. I guess preparing a full course meal has a lot to do with like how these foods sort of complement each other.
yes.
Yeah, and like you said, you talked about the artichoke. You said artichoke. Or
Yeah, like an artichoke dip.
Like, how does that complement like the salmon? Like, how does that go well with the salmon?
Well, it just depending. That was just for me, just
Like an
to
example?
think of. Yeah, because like I'm a big person on artichoke dip. I used to make it all the time.
Well, but artichoke dip is light. It's
Artichoke
not
dip-
going to ruin your appetite.
Artichoke dip is
not
a little
that light.
heavy, and salmon is also
Salmon's
heavy.
light. I consider it lighter.
But you couldn't have like a heavy appetizer and then a heavy.
I could definitely
main
eat
course.
more
It's
salmon than steak. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's all just relative, like to how he wants to plate something for the day. Like he might have an overall theme.
the chef.
Yeah, the chef might have just an overall theme of how he wants everything done.
So it's like a sort of hidden conversation between you and the people you're serving.
Yeah, it's like a song and dance that we do here. Where you're supposed to lead them basically.
It's having a good experience.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Like it sounds kind of like jazz, in a way.
You like jazz?
No, because like
I saw La La Land maybe once or twice.
no, because the way I always see like the kind of jazz that's really expressive is like it seems like they're sort of guiding you through like a large experience, like a conversation.
Yeah, that's really how it is.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Ratatouille.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, I'm serious. There's a part in Ratatouille that was actually really interesting because it was when Remy was like teaching his brother about complementing flavors.
Yes,
and they had
and
him close his eyes, and it was like, and he was explaining how like you get all these you mix the savoriness of the cauliflower with the cheese and
tartness of this and the tartness of that, and you have one flavor here and then you have another flavor here, and how do you get them together to culminate? Yes, it's important because I was explaining to them that like when I made the tacos, I could have added this, I could have added that.
We're gonna talk about that.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, they don't even know what we're talking about. But we're gonna explain later.
Oh, okay. So it's you can cook 7 different things and put it all together, but if 7 different things don't come together, you just have 7 different things together and nothing that come together.
How do shapes and colors and like scents play into like the experience of like say like a main course? Like how would you make it all come together? Actually, hold on. Answer this question when we do the study on. Save that question for when we do the video later. But let's do an art study. Let's do the first picture.
Okay.
First picture.
Yes. Ooh.
Okay, so one thing that I learned actually from my job at IKEA is that fruit like purees or fruits in general actually really can go well with meat. Like especially if it's tart, like the Swedish meatballs that they got there. Like I roll that around in the lingonberry jam, and it's actually really good.
Or mint jelly and lamb shanks.
Yeah.
So there's not as far as like yes, for that, yes. But there's one that I never forget because I make it all the time. It's endive, radicchio, and watercress salad with candied pecans, goat cheese, and a raspberry vinaigrette. And if you want, like I said, little piece of chicken cutlet. Always, always, always.
What is endive?
Endive is like
An herb, isn't it?
cabbage, but smaller. I don't even know how to explain it myself without sounding like a crazy person. It's cabbage, but small and like nice and sweet. Yeah, it's very good.
But how would you how is this broken down? Like, what makes this sort of appealing? Like, I mean, you look at this
The
and you
balance of color.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's not all one uniform color. And even the grill marks. It looks like you could play chess on that. That's how good the grill marks are. Yeah. It's a nice chicken breast that has an airline. Now the airline, or it's a French cut, where it would have.
Careful! Don't bang the table, by the way.
Oh, sorry. It would have the piece of bone out, and then you have the nice yellow mashed potato.
I don't know if you remember, Mike, but when we talked about we did an episode on shapes and colors. Like we were talking about how like a human's eye. Yeah, we did.
Oh,
a human's eye will always go to like the highest point in like an image that he's viewing.
I like the bone because it makes me feel like I just be barbarian and just eat it like an animal. Yeah.
It's got berry. It's got berry in there.
Yeah, it's got berry. You know, I don't know why I've been saying I have an aversion to fruit with meat. I don't know why I keep saying that because it's like not true. Like I don't mind it that much. I think it's just because of like maybe pineapple on pizza with the ham. I just don't get. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying
next
this.
Picture, by the way, Steve. This is
Those are a caterpillar because I can't see.
Under glasses.
No.
A lamb. No, it's terrine. Yeah.
No, it's basil salmon terrine.
Yeah, it's predominantly French.
Yeah,
it's like a rendition of what we have in Mexico. It's called queso de puerco, which is basically like the head of the pig that's like
stuffed.
And no, it's grinded down.
Oh,
and then it's like how they do ham. They put gelatin in it and they'll solidify it. That's basically what that is.
Kind of like head cheese.
Yeah, it's head cheese. The better way to say it. I definitely just spaced out on the English.
You mean the stuff in between my ears?
I was so confused because somebody asked for head cheese and I was looking in the cheese section like, where is this?
It's a meat, right?
Yeah, it's a meat. It's ground up meat slammed into aspic. And like it's like a type of gelatin kind of. And it's like a loaf.
But
at least a cold cut Americanized version of it is.
What about like the sort of like one thing that you obviously notice is the sort of uniformity, like how what'd you say? You said folded out. Like how this is all folded out.
Yeah.
When in doubt, fold it out.
Exactly. Always.
And like the sort of the rows, that's the rows that they've made from those strips that look like maybe like red peppers or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of preparation went into this to make it look like a beautiful sort of dish.
And all that garnish is edible. Yes.
Yeah. The whole thing's edible.
Exactly.
Which is brilliant.
How much do you think a meal like that would cost?
That's roughly around the range of like $20 or $30 in any restaurant.
This?
I figure.
Yeah. Why did I think it'd be more expensive?
Probably because of the plating.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean.
Yeah, that's an actual whole. Like you'd probably just get like a slab of that, put with God knows whatever. They probably put like some crackers or something. I myself have not eaten too many terrines before.
What is a terrine exactly? Like, what would you say it was?
It's basically like
it's like a loaf of.
It's a loaf of
meat.
Yeah.
Just been ground up. It looks like the salmon's been like put in the center of the loaf.
It's lobster, I think, wasn't it?
No, this is a basil salmon terrine.
Dude,
salmon. Anchovies are a plebe filter. If you don't like anchovies, I don't know. Anchovies are actually great.
Anchovies are, especially when you make like the original like Caesar salad.
Yeah, because that traditionally has anchovy.
Cool. Next picture, Bella. Thank you, Steve.
Anchovies on pizza? Oh, man.
And this is a seafood platter. Once again, fanned out.
That's sushi at the end?
Oh, it's a seafood platter, so there's like it's miscellaneous seafood.
Okay.
That looks like tomatoes and basil. I mean, not tomatoes and basil. That looks like potatoes with cheese, like the pearl mozzarella.
Yeah,
maybe. But I was thinking like those pearl the pearl onions. What are they called?
Pearl onions, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
but no, those look like mozzarella. like little pearl mozzarella
Maybe.
things.
But like, again, fanned out, sort of a uniform distribution of the pearl whatevers with the potatoes, and the potatoes are all cut to the same shape. Like it's all about that symmetry that we were talking about when it comes to shapes. That really makes this seem as appetizing as it was. Because imagine if you just like jumbled this up together.
Yeah, no.
It also makes it look like the way you fan it out. It makes it look like you have like a lot of food.
That's a big thing. You can always cut it thin and fan it out more, and it always looks fuller.
Imagine, I can imagine your brain being tricked into thinking that you are actually fuller.
Exactly.
So if you think about it, like proper food presentation can like actually help with your health because it can prevent you from overeating. If you think about it.
Yeah, because it looks like it's a lot more than it actually is. I'd rather have thinly sliced like quarter pound of ham than a quarter slice of like of cut ham, just regular, because a regular size I think they cut on like the 5 or 6 setting. I'm not quite sure, but they'd be like thick, and yeah, that's fine. But like when you get to the thinner cuts, it looks like a lot more. A sandwich looks fatter. You're like, oh man, it's gonna be a really good sandwich, as opposed to,
The block.
Exactly.
That's why people in my job are like, I need that super thin now.
Yeah.
Because it makes it. Oh yeah, it makes it last.
They think it makes it taste better.
Oh. Next picture. Yeah.
Which in some meats are not. Like roast beef, I'd rather have it thin for a sandwich.
With meat, I feel like meat is one of those things that you can just do so much with. You
can.
You do so much.
Smack it around a bit. Tenderize it. Marinate it.
Jesus. Is that an orange
Season
slice?
it.
I hope to God we're still talking about the picture, but
That looks like an orange slice next to it. Again, fruit with meat.
no, it's a gastrique.
But
as
also,
they call it.
while
Wait,
you,
hold on. I'm sorry.
It's like it's gastrique or puree, whatever you want
Yeah,
to call
those.
it.
I noticed those. I think there's another picture here, hopefully with it. But those streaks that they put across the.
So yeah, what they'll do is they'll get like a puree of sauce. They'll put it in the middle, and they'll grab a spoon and just like swipe it.
It's basically like painting. What is it about it that makes it?
Mess up the swipe. You have to just wipe it off.
You can't mess up the swipe because it's not supposed to be, unless it's supposed to be like a uniform plate. If it's just for one person, there's no messing up. It's just you could just do however you feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Food can be however it wants to be.
It's a little bit more forgiving than say
Exactly.
like painting.
the thing about meat, like how you said, you could use it for like almost anything. You could also bastardize it really bad, and you end up with stuff like blended up fake processed bologna.
Ew.
Or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like Vienna sausages.
I work at a deli, dude. I would know the most worst atrocities of processed food. It's bad.
Deli expert.
I like bologna though.
No, I'm not saying like all bologna's like that, but there's a particular brand of it that's really. It like even says on the label, it's like, yeah, half this meat might be real. We don't really know.
Oh god.
This is a Russian meat plate. Speaking of, and this looks like abstract art.
It's like sushi.
Kinda, but it's apparently all meat. I think.
And fish is meat.
Eat your borscht.
But like that puddle underneath that little slab of what looks to be some kind of a
Sauce, yeah.
like why arrange it in that way?
I have a huge problem with this, and it's because I always
A lot of negative space.
well, not even that. It's people have such a negative connotation. Like people are always gonna assume that costs maybe like $60-$70. But us as chefs have to know that people feel that way, so we gotta make it less intimidating. Like that, I would 100% guarantee if I would most likely ballpark it around like $30-$40 for that plate right there. Me as somebody who works in the industry, like, it scares people, and I think that's why people always assume like you go to restaurants can be expensive. You don't have to go to a restaurant and spend $100. You can go anywhere and.
Honestly, $40 just for that does seem like a lot for someone who's like, I guess like me and like is conscious of how much they're trying to spend when they're going to get food.
Yeah, I think for like for people of two people. I think average bill roughly should go around like $100.
Yeah.
Easy.
Next picture, please. Thank you.
I get scared when I order something that's expensive and it comes out like the before picker like this, and it's like barely any food.
This is some roasted lamb.
But I think the problem is, as Americans,
We eat a lot.
we eat a lot. So it just, like, if it's not a lot, we just assume that, we're still going to be hungry. Yeah, there's not enough, that we're not getting the best bang for a buck. But it also goes to say, like, wow, we eat a lot, that if we don't see a lot, then we're still going to be hungry after,
Yep.
But that looks amazing.
That does look amazing.
That does. That looks like a good rack of lamb.
Is that little blueberries in there in the stuff?
No, that's edible flour.
Oh,
Yeah, edible flowers is getting into mainstream now as well. Before
flowers in your food.
before people used to think like get that stuff out of there. Like, just pick it off the floor and then just put it on our plate.
I mean, it's like a garnish.
Yeah, it's a good garnish. It gives a nice pop of color.
That's the cool thing. Like, using color theory with food. It's like basically like eating art. It's so interesting in my opinion, because it's just like art can just encompass so many different mediums,
Yes, but if you ever go to culinary school and tell me that, oh, this is art we can eat, I'm gonna be a little upset. I'm gonna be a little salty, and I'm not gonna say I hope that you don't make it, but I hope that you don't make it.
Wait, why?
Because it just sounds like so.
Bourgeois.
It sounds like such a dumb thing to say to people. Like if you go to. Picture it this way: you go to school for criminal justice. Like, oh, I want to go to criminal justice. I want to get into criminal justice because I saw CSI. That's like the cringe that I think of when people say it's edible art, and
It's like it's like basically like normies,
yeah,
kind of.
It's a misconception. It's like you don't even know what you're getting into.
exactly.
It's like an innocence thing, and then they do it solely for that reason, and then they realize how ball busting it is, and like, oh my god, I want to die.
Here's some desserts. Chocolate bourbon pumpkin cake.
Oh my god, I love bourbon.
But it's in a cake, so all the alcohol has been diluted out.
I don't care. I like the taste.
Just go. So we don't really. I guess we don't really have much
Steve,
to talk
I forgot
about.
what
So
that
go to the next
Caesar
one.
meant. What does that mean?
What?
What does this mean?
Don't worry about it. Go to the next one. But that's just.
A tart.
That's a tart.
No, it's not a tart.
It looks like just a chocolate, just a regular cake with a chocolate ganache on top, and then fruit on top, which not bad. Looks really nice.
Food can be so beautiful.
It can.
Lots
Now-
of nature in there too.
Yeah. So many different themes and aesthetics.
Yeah.
It does look nice.
Dude, art is good.
It looks so good you don't even want to eat it. You just want to watch it, look at it. It's like a cake in Minecraft. You make it for a decoration, not to
These are seriously. All right, so
You take some Minecraft.
all right, so let's go to the.
Last one.
Oh, wait, oh, yeah. This is a.
Is that shrimp cocktail on top of it?
No.
That's called strawberries.
Oh, because without my
Glasses.
glasses, it really looks like shrimp cocktail.
Wait, have you not been able to see anything we've been doing?
Not really. Please don't hand me my glasses. I don't want them. They're very fragile. Oh, the lens has been popping out.
There
There we go.
All right. So that's all the art studies we got. Why don't we go straight to the food, like to the sort of expose with food that we did,
Exposoire.
complete with commentary. Just hold on, pause it. Oh, actually, I don't know if you can you? Oh, you can just get us out of the shot. Like,
Out of the shot?
yeah, like at like our little window.
Remove us.
Be gone, us. There we go.
Karen, remove me from this box at once.
All right, so
So I'm just cutting jalapenos.
jalapenos, yeah.
Yes.
Getting ready. What is it that you were cooking here again?
I'm making steak tacos. Now, I have no idea anybody's level of spice, so I want to cut it real thin because the less you see of the jalapenos, the less scared you are that you're gonna eat it.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
You ate it if you had the cabbage slaw. You just don't know that you did because it's so thin. You don't really have the crunch. I'm not looking for the crunch of the jalapeno because if you had the crunch, it's too late. And
Then you get scared.
If you
exactly.
crunch this, it's too late.
Exactly.
If you're crunching this, it's too late.
And that's my all-around. Well, it's not really supposed to be an all-around knife. I just use it as my all-around knife.
Which,
It's
by the way, is insanely freaking sharp.
You always want to have your knives insanely sharp.
Yeah.
So it's my Nakiri knife. It's a vegetable knife. I don't even know if I should plug who makes it.
I mean, you can if you want.
Mercer knives, best knives in the industry. It's so cheap. I bought like 5 of them. I sharpen them. It actually cost me more to sharpen them than it is to buy them, because that knife cost me like $12. It cost me $11 to sharpen it.
So this is the red cabbage.
Yes, we have red cabbage.
One thing I noticed is that in the final product, like the colors of the cabbage is actually kind of mixed together.
Yeah, it bleeds out.
And I think it was doing that mainly because of the lime you put in there.
Yeah.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. You're still only cutting the cabbage, but you're cutting it super fine.
Yeah, nobody wants big pieces of cabbage in it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to taste a little bit of everything.
The size of the components of the dish obviously matter, right? Like
Yes.
which would you want to be the biggest in piece of the main course? Like what part of the main course we want it to be the biggest?
Honestly, I think of it as like a buffet. You always want to give the filler first, and then the main course. The main thing is not as much, but it's still something you can taste.
I like how juicy we get this lime.
Yeah. That sort of kneading it gets to freeze up a lot of that juice.
And for anybody watching it who knows about cooking, I know I cut it the wrong way. Honestly, it was just jitters. I've never done it in front of a camera before.
Aw.
So
A little stage fright.
Exactly.
But why are you putting the lime? Why are you squeezing the lime in that cabbage?
Lime gives it good acidity.
Chucking in the garbage.
Yeah. Lime gives great acidity to it. Well, you could have sautéed it as well a little bit.
Yeah,
I think keeping it raw gives that crunch, that
that fresh sort of flavor.
That fresh flavor, but that crunch that you don't necessarily get when you're eating a tortilla. So.
Yeah.
It gives a good contrast to the
Yeah.
steak too.
Yeah. Honestly, when we were eating this, it did have a perfect consistency in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the tortilla, it broke apart. We had the crunch of the cabbage, mixing that up a bit, and the steak, which was
Soft.
Yeah, it was soft, definitely. But it was the flavors and the consistencies combined was
Make
really
it
really made the dish something really special. But you also said that you wanted to. Well, I asked you, and the lime juice also helps to sort of break down the cellulose to make it a little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
What were we doing here again?
Right here, I just wanted to see the size, because as much as I really wanted to just put the whole thing on,
you want to make it manageable.
Yeah, and also, don't ever crowd the pan.
And just cleaning the knife between all the shots.
I'm cleaning the knife between the shots. I'm cleaning the board as well.
Well, even if it'd be a bigger deal, wouldn't it, if you had cut the meat first and then went to the vegetables? Obviously, it'd be much worse.
But with something like this, the meat is always something you want to leave till the last minute.
Yeah, because it cooks the longest, doesn't it?
Well, you always want to do that first. Let it rest as you do everything else.
Yeah.
But again, not today.
Well, wait, that's just a simple salt and pepper mix, you said?
Yeah,
right?
just salt and pepper. Everybody, people always say you need to put this steak seasoning. I was like, no, steak seasoning is salt and pepper, a little granulated garlic if you got it. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, in essence, less is always more. And with steak, that's it.
Yeah, this had a really light flavor. It wasn't too salty, definitely.
Yeah.
My family really does pepper the ever living crap out of the steak or salt it, and it's just wow.
Dude, my dad puts so much. My dad has his steak cooked well done, and then he covers it in salt. Oh, what a sin! We went to Peter Luger's, and the chef made a comment to give to the waiters. It was tell him I hate him.
Oh my god.
He butchered the steak.
Jesus.
Especially at Peter Luger, a place like that, you'd always.
Yeah, it's a high end.
Mind your manners every time you eat steak. Again, another sin would be.
Take a lot of pride in it.
Exactly.
All right, so here you're just buttering up the pan.
Yep. I want to brown it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because brown butter always gives it a different. It gives it a nutty flavor. So that's what you want. Yeah, it gives it a whole new depth of flavor when you get that nuttiness, the savory of the steak, and everything just comes together. And that's always what you hope for. And, you know, everybody has time-tested recipes that always going to work, whatever you do. This is just one of them.
Now, the length of time that you let the meat sit in that seasoning obviously changes up the whole dynamic, really.
Yes, because it was kind of on the fly, salt and pepper, nice quick sear, then let it rest for a little bit.
I remember when I had done that steak marinade, it was marinated for like 5 days and sitting in juices, so much where it just like when you cooked it, the meat was just pure orange.
But it was damn good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was.
But the thing is, like, I want to tell you something. I tried it again, and you were actually doing this sort of motion right here.
Oh yeah. So what we were taught in school is if under the pan is hot and on top of the pan is also hot, that means that
Like the same temperature.
yeah, the same temperature. That means that everything is good to go. That means your above heat is the same as your below heat.
Yeah, but when I was talking about the steak, like I tried it again and I didn't marinate it for nearly as long, and it came out awful. So like the thing is,
certain cuts of meat need to be tenderized a little bit longer than others.
but it just goes to show, like, I mean, when you do commit to that marinade, it changes up the whole dynamic. You're gonna want to like stick to it and actually do well on it, or else it's just gonna come out really bad. That was a really nice braise that we had with that shot.
Like a nice sear. Yeah, what we always want to do is give it that nice color. Like I said, people eat with their eyes first.
Yeah.
So if they see a nice like color on their steak, people will be like, "Oh, I can't wait to have that. It's gonna be juicy," you know.
Oh my god, it's so juicy.
Exactly. People see that and they're like, "Oh man, I can't wait! I can't wait! I can't wait!"
I couldn't wait.
Seriously, it was.
Even though
really,
we just eaten, I was like, oh man, I want this now.
but just browning that up
I see food, I eat it.
in those nice on a seafood diet.
That's how I get my kicks.
Yeah.
But do you have to do it on all sides?
Yeah, preferably on all sides. Then hit it in the oven for a little bit. That way, you know. Because when you put it in the oven, it
Cooks from the
cooks
outside
out.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It cooks
rather,
out.
the inside out.
it cooks everything out.
Yeah.
Everything's all good. Everything is up to temperature that you want it. I would put like butter on top, like a nice like Merlot butter,
Ooh.
something like that. Something to
You put
know.
it on like somewhere around here, right?
Yeah.
Or when it's just like.
and then I
sitting
put
down.
it in the oven.
Yeah. All right. So this is
This is me prepping everything for the steak.
Yeah.
Again, letting it rest for a little bit.
Simple meal, but still good.
Yeah.
Very simple. It is still fantastic though.
So, yeah, basically, I just put everything to the side and then start my descent into madness as I start. After I wash my board, it's all ready to go. Let it rest.
Yeah,
Some of the juices.
You're feeling
seeped
it
out.
up. What were you feeling it up for exactly?
So when I do something
Feeling
like
it up.
that,
Make it sound like a
I
date.
just want to make sure that
It is
while
a
I
date.
like it rare, medium rare, I also have to know that some people like it medium rare, a medium and above.
So you're just making sure you actually did it correctly.
Yeah, making sure that it's not rare, that it's not black and blue, which is just seared on all sides, and then just serve. Some people don't like that.
Yeah.
Heating up my tortilla.
Because you don't want to just be like the straight out of the package, obviously.
Yeah, no, that's just me sharpening the knife to put it away. Because that's what I do.
Could you kill a man with that knife?
I mean, you can kill a man with just about anything, really. But
Good
that's
answer.
that's a talk for a different show.
What was funny, like I commented, is that you didn't
Oh
even.
man, look at that.
Yeah.
That is a good thin slice.
And you're right.
It's a shame.
No, you're right. It does make it look like it has a lot higher of a volume than it normally does.
Yeah.
All right, that speed's a little.
Don't worry about it. We're seeing all the cuts we're seeing. It's fine, but it looks really good.
Yeah. So,
I often I make the cuts too large, so they kind of feel cumbersome in your mouth, but but no, like the increasing like the surface area just by cutting them really thinly, it does really help, and that's the finished product right there.
Got good color.
Definitely got a
Does.
good blend of colors.
You can tell what you're about to eat. It's pretty healthy because of all the vegetable colors.
yeah. My thing is, it looks great. I could look a little bit better.
I'd
again.
put 2 more tacos on that plate because that's a lot of lime for one taco.
It's
Yep.
do your best with what you can.
Brilliant.
I always tell a story when people ask me about food. It's you know, do you have what do you think about when you think of food? I always have very good memories with food. You know, people always say about food in general. They're do you have a story between food or whatever? And yes, I do. So when I used to work down in Florida, I was away from my family, and I'm a big family person. I'm used to having my family around me for holidays and stuff like that. And with that, I didn't have that when I lived in Florida. So this girl I knew, she would talk to me about it.
I'm sorry, wrap it up.
Yeah, no. So she would make curry. And so now holidays, I make curry as a thing to remind me of that great time that I had with some friends of mine that we had curry during the holidays.
That's a nice feel.
That is a nice feeling. All right. Tell us about Ocean. Quick, Mike, what's the next thought that's in your mind without thinking or saying anything? Or actually, no, say the thought that's in your mind right now.
I don't know.
Okay, there's your mystery, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Consider getting that Twisted Ojada's Eddie hot.
It is good.
Eddie hot sauce.
Eddie Ojada's Twisted Hot Sauce.
It's so
Twisted
good.
Hot Sauce,
It's
Eddie?
twisted.
Yeah, it's twisting my mouth and all the words in it.
The cap is a twist off.
See, twisted.
You do not need a bottle opener.
Twisted. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. We love you all. Thanks for coming over, Cerezo.
You got it.
We're going down.
Bye.